think anything by Jack Bogle, like the little book of Common Sense Investing, which basically talks about index funds. There's one that I like. It's called A Beginner's Guide to Investing, which is like 100-page. It's kind of like the cliff notes of all the classics. I like A Random Walk Down Wall Street. All of these say the same thing, which is anytime people start to want to be smart and like try to pick and choose stocks or day trade or like get into some like more like speculative form of gambling in the market, it's not good. It's not likely to have you beat the market. It's more likely to have you lose the market.
And you had another post to the people who are listening still unconvinced, I guess, and they're like, well, I can just put it in my savings account. You have here, your savings account is costing you $2 million. So explain.
Yeah. I think one of my biggest pet peeves is when people ask me, like, what's a good high-yield savings account? And the answer right now is that there are no good ones because the interest rates are so low. But the real answer is you're hurting yourself by putting money there if you're not investing, because whether you get 0.1% like you get today or like 2% like you could have gotten a few years ago, what you really need is like 8 to 9 to 10% like you can get in the market. And so if you put $500 a month away over the course of your career over 40 years, if you put in a savings account getting a 2% rate of return, you end up with about $365,000, which is nice. It's good if it's better than zero. I'm glad you saved over the course of your career, but like not even really enough to retire on. If you put that in an index fund in the stock market over the last 40 years, you'd end up with over $3 million. So basically 9 times more money by investing rather than saving. And so, your story is a good one where people are like hesitant, there's so much uncertainty. How do I get started? What do I do? And so you're just saving. But that opportunity cost of not putting, your money into the market to actually build wealth is costing you $2 million over the course of your career, actually more than that.
Yeah, I appreciate you because for saying that. I don't think people talk about or think about the money they're losing by not investing as well. So even in that scenario, you said 9 times the wealth, I believe, if they invest in an index fund versus a savings account. Or even if they're just sitting on the savings account at the rates that they're at right now, they'd be losing to inflation. This year, they were lost about 3 to 4% with inflation at 5%. And I have, I'm using my air quotes for the people listening to the podcast, a high-yield savings account. It started at 2%. I'd be surprised if it's at 0.9% now because every time I get an email update and they read their terms, it's going down.